Welcome to FactVerse, where ancient Indian stories reveal powerful facts. Today's story comes from the Mahabharata, and it teaches us the true meaning of strength. During the great Kurukshetra war, the Pandava prince, Arjuna, was renowned as the greatest archer in the world. His name echoed across the land, a symbol of unmatched skill and martial prowess. He had mastered divine weapons, the celestial astras, and with his legendary bow, the Gandiva, he had defeated even the strongest and most revered warriors on the battlefield. His arrows flew with the speed of thought, finding their mark with unerring accuracy, turning the tide of battles and securing victory for his side. The war was a devastating conflict, lasting 18 days, leaving behind a field of fallen heroes and a kingdom in mourning. After the dust finally settled and the Pandavas emerged victorious, a sense of relief and accomplishment filled the air. One day, while reflecting on the monumental struggle, Arjuna, filled with a sense of pride in his achievements, turned to his charioteer and divine guide, Lord Krishna. He said, "Krishna, all my victories, all the great warriors I vanquished, happened because of my skill, my focus, and the power of my arms." Krishna, the embodiment of cosmic wisdom, simply smiled. His smile was gentle, enigmatic, and held the depth of the entire universe. He knew that while Arjuna's skill was undeniable, his pride was now clouding his understanding of the true source of his power. Krishna decided it was time to teach his dear friend a profound lesson, not through lectures or sermons, but through a direct and unforgettable experience. In that very moment, the world around Arjuna began to shift and dissolve. The victory celebrations, the sounds of his returning army, the entire landscape of the Kurukshetra battlefield. It all faded away like a dream upon waking. The chariots, the soldiers, the tents, and the standards vanished into thin air. Arjuna found himself standing utterly alone, not on the war-torn plains, but in a dense, primeval forest filled with mystical light and ancient trees. Before him stood a figure he did not recognize. It was a simple hunter, a tribal man dressed in humble clothes, carrying a plain, unadorned bow. He wore no armor, held no divine weapons, and had no army at his back. Yet there was an aura of immense, unspoken power radiating from him, a quiet confidence that unsettled the great warrior. The hunter, with a calm and almost challenging gaze, motioned towards Arjuna. Feeling his pride pricked by this silent stranger, Arjuna, the conqueror of Kurukshetra, drew his mighty Gandiva. He who could summon celestial weapons was being challenged by a mere forest dweller. He confidently fired an arrow, expecting it to subdue the hunter instantly. But to his astonishment, the arrow missed its mark, clattering harmlessly to the ground. He tried again and again, unleashing a volley of arrows, each one faster and more powerful than the last. But none of them worked. They either veered off course or simply fell short. Growing desperate and frustrated, Arjuna tried to summon his divine weapons, the very astras that had defeated gods and demons. But they failed to manifest. The mantras felt empty on his tongue, his divine knowledge useless. All his strength, all his celebrated skill meant absolutely nothing. He stood there bewildered, his power gone. The hunter watched this display with a serene expression. Then he calmly lifted his own simple bow, knocked a single ordinary-looking arrow, and let it fly. With a soft thud, the arrow struck Arjuna's mighty Gandiva, pinning it to the earth and rendering it immovable. For the very first time in his life, Arjuna, the invincible warrior, the greatest archer in the world, felt completely and utterly helpless. Humbled and defeated, Arjuna dropped to his knees. He folded his hands. His pride shattered. His ego dissolved. He looked at the mysterious hunter and asked with genuine humility, "Who are you?" No mortal could possess such power. The hunter's lips curved into that same familiar, all-knowing smile. A divine, brilliant light began to emanate from his form, filling the entire forest, and in that glow the hunter's shape transformed. It was none other than his friend, his guide, Lord Krishna, standing before him in his cosmic, magnificent form. Krishna's voice, calm and resonant, echoed through Arjuna's soul. Arjuna, he said, your strength never came from pride. It came from your humility, your devotion, and your adherence to dharma, to righteousness. Skill, when tainted by ego, becomes a prison. But when your actions are selfless and your heart is pure, the entire universe works through you. True strength begins only when the ego ends. This powerful story from the Mahabharata teaches us a timeless and universal truth. Ego is the veil that hides our true potential and destroys wisdom. Power, whether it's wealth, knowledge, or physical strength, becomes a source of weakness when it's not guided by humility and purpose. The Mahabharata is not just an ancient story of a great war. It is a profound guide for life, filled with practical wisdom that remains relevant even today, showing us that our greatest power lies not in what we can do, but in who we choose to be. If you enjoyed this powerful story from the Mahabharata, please like this video and subscribe to FactVerse. More ancient Indian facts and stories are coming soon. Thank you for watching.